Hi, my name's Cathy Millett, and this week we're doing snow and ice with Deluxe Materials. So Deluxe Materials are a UK firm, but you can get them in the US and other parts of the world too. And they have a number of products that they use specifically for snow, such as shoveled snow, Snowflakes and Icy Sparkles. And I think you can get them in a starter pack. To be honest, that's probably where I got these, but I got them a long time ago and the packs changed slightly. They also come with a glue, which I've used up. They also have two other products I actually prefer for using snow, and they are micro balloons and Create and Shape. And the owner was telling me about Create and Shape when I met him recently. So he suggested this for snow and ice, and it's a great recommendation. And it just goes to show that not everything you can use for snow and ice says snow and ice on the packet. So let's get on and make some dioramas such as these using these products. So I'm going to start with Create and Shape. It's a sort of a ground putty really, but it happens to be white. So if you talk to Deluxe Materials, they say, oh, you can use it for snow. Now he did say you may need to just thin it out a bit in some instances. So I'm going to use it on one of these dioramas, just do the build up of snow. Because one thing I'm not really getting on here in any of the dioramas I've done so far is that build up that you get of snow. So this isn't actually aimed as a snow product, but actually it works incredibly well as one because it's white. And that's something just to think about when you're doing any of these winter kind of things, that actually, you know, snow is white. A lot of plasters, etc. are white, so they can form the first coat and you can just put a sprinkle coat on. So you can see here, he did suggest I added some water. So I'm just going to go and get a dish and add some water. Don't be afraid to take products and just dilute them a little bit if you find they're not spreading. I find some of the stuff I've had, I won't say it sits on the shelf a long time, but sometimes it just, the top bits especially, are not as perhaps original manufacturer's consistency. So a little bit of water. And it just sucks that water in nicely, and I can stir it up into a much nicer, oh yeah, that'll be much easier to apply. Oh, that's really nice. Oh, it looks very snowy, doesn't it? Look at that. Oh, I can see that going on well. It's got a lovely foamy consistency. So let's put that over the top of here and see how we do. Oh yes, you can see that going on much nicer. So I want to show this kind of building up around the fence posts as if it's blown there, and around the bottoms of these bushes, and then we're going to do the top of them with the other snow products. Trying to make this look like there's snows just piled up around them, and I want it round in the bottom, but it's hard to get it in there because they're all spiky. Wow, that was very easy to put on, just random amount of water in there, and that's come out really nicely. So next up will be the snow products, but I want this to dry first because it is a foam. I don't know how much it's going to shrink, and I don't want to put the snow on and then it cracks because what's underneath it shrinks. Okay, so this one has cracked. That does happen when you're putting on quite thick layers of stuff that you've thinned from the original compound. So I'm just going to go over it quickly before I do the next stage with just a little bit more of this mix. Thin down again and just put into the cracks. It doesn't need enough, and a brush will just happily sort that out and smooth it all off again. And this time it will stick, and it's not so big and bulky in volume, so it will be fine. So just brushing it on. So if there's any bits that look a bit too brush marked, a little bit of water, just run over them and we'll just smooth them out. And another product they do, which you can get for other things, is just lightweight filler. It's micro balloons. So this one, I'm going to use the micro balloons just because I love them so much. And I think they fit very well with this texture, which is a really light, puffy, powdery texture. And I think the micro balloons look great. So I'm just going to spray this again with hairspray. I'm going to go over this because I just find it easier to tie together if you use the same product across all the things. Sprinkle this on. So I kept repeating the hairspray, sprinkle, until I was happy. Now I have to match that powdered paste snow for heaviness, or it'll just look weird. And in some ways I probably could have done with putting a little bit more snow on, but I was enjoying the effect I got to. They've got shoveled snow, which is aimed more at just piling up on the side, and you can see it's clumpier in nature when you look at it inside. And I'm going to use it to create a bank along here. Interestingly, it says that you need to mix it with something like one of their glues, and then mould it to shape. Now, I don't have their Scenic grip, but I have got a competitor's similar glue, so I'm going to just mix this up, put a little bit in. So there is a bit of work in this product, obviously, in getting it to look right. Ooh. So I've got quite a thin glue mixed into this. So you can create this, and I think the point with having some of these powders where you add your own glue is you can create your own consistencies. You can do what you like with them to get very different effects. And I'm just going to apply it like it has built up at the side of the road, just being built up. Now it's been all pushed to one side, as people do when they get snow, and it's all just pushed away. I've decided for this, I'm going to have it as if it's getting towards the end of the season, because this scenic snow is looking good. So I'm going to do this one and try and build up a little bit of snow around the edges. So to do that, I'm just going to put on a small amount of just a thin glue and use a brush to spread it around and add just a little bit of extra snow to blend this edge in. So I'm just going to add a little bit of a glue. I'm going to use their Scenic Snowflakes, which come with a little shaker on them anyway. These are high brightness snowflakes, and they're a powder. I'm not convinced they're quite right, so I'm actually going to go over those with micro balloons and a little bit more glue, and I just sprinkle them on. In this instance, I can just pour them on. I've got a few bottles of this, and I just think they're great. I think they look wonderful snow. So again, this is another product from Deluxe that they don't badge up for snow, but I think makes a great lightweight snow. There we go. And you can see then, actually that's a much better texture. Now over this, I'm going to put Icy Sparkles just to give it that. I've frozen slightly, it's been the end, they've piled some snow up, it's defrosted, refrosted, you know, that kind of look to it. So I'm going to put it on with hairspray, because it's a nice, easy, achievable product that everyone has at home. So all I need to do is give this a bit of a spray and then sprinkle the Icy Sparkles. And I love these Icy Sparkles, I think they're great, and literally you can just tap them on and everything gets a little bit of a sort of a glitz to it. So this is the final result. We've got the it was create and shape snow here, covered with a light dusting of micro balloons. And I've got to say, even though micro balloons aren't sold as being suitable for snow, in fact it just says lightweight easy standing filler for resin on them. I love them for snow. They are one of my favourite snow products, and I used them previously on this diorama, and I had great results. The other thing I used on that was Icy Sparkles, and you know, I think these are great for adding just a little bit of Icy Sparkle, and there's various glues you can use to get different effects, and I use these on here. Now you can see that actually I put too many on here. I got a bit carried away. I used hairspray and I thought, oh, it's not looking that sparkly, and I don't think I'd waited for it to dry properly, so I put loads more on. But you can see you can get a very nice light even covering, and this then is the shoveled snow that you can use to create piles of snow. And obviously having different products like shovel snow, you can add different glues to get different effects. So overall, the Deluxe Materials, just a few products, the shoveled snow, the micro balloons, the create and shape, the Icy Sparkles, but they can all produce amazing effects, and sometimes it's as much about what you can do with them as about the products themselves. Well, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. If you did, consider subscribing to me on Patreon and supporting me. All of these efforts take money. I have to buy products, you know, I give up time to do them, and that doesn't come cheap. So if you can support me, I'd really appreciate it. Otherwise, check out my website. There's always more details on the blog. And remember, all the materials that I've used today are in the description below. See you next time.